So inside day, very important today. And then what I want to draw your attention to here is, and I'm going to kind of joke about this for a second, but here's your trend line here, right, off the 89 range chart. Now, if you go to our morning prep this morning, sideways markets, and then scroll back through the posts, and you'll see the morning prep from today. If you're on our newsletter, you probably have that email in your inbox right now. Go to the morning prep, and then let me show you guys here on the next slide. Now, let me show you guys how not to use the morning prep. Now, the morning prep, we do a lot of hard work every morning to make sure our morning prep is excellent for professional traders. And of course, at sidewaysmarkets.com, every morning I post my morning prep at 7:45, and you guys can grab a copy of that. Anybody, guests or members, can do that. Well, follow me down bottom here, and I want you guys to help me read this. It says, and of course, this is on gold. It says the easy way to trade this will be to avoid the middle, which is also the trend line of the wedge. Now, what I was talking about here in the morning prep today was we were talking about, and again, you can see this snapshot right there. There's that trend line. And of course, right there, right, was where we were concerned about trading around that trend line. So I was very specific for myself, right, and for you this morning on the morning prep. And again, the morning prep really is that roadmap that we use to, of course, navigate through the ups and downs of the market. And I was very specific here, but let me show you guys what my first trade looked like today on gold. Because you're probably wondering if I even read my own morning prep, right? Remember that trend line, right? And here we are now on your 13 range chart. Now, a 13 range chart is perfect for day traders. This is a perfect intraday time frame. And of course, here was that channel. There was that channel we were talking about. Here is the wedge, right? There's the wedge. And of course, we can't forget about your previous highs are up top here. Your previous lows are down bottom here, so there is going to be your range. All right, so now you know kind of where we are right now. And we're beginning our day here very, very slow. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30. By 9:30 in the morning, we have a double top and soon becomes a triple top as it tests the highs for a third time. Now, if you remember this morning, very slow this morning, okay, very slow this morning, and we had 9:40 news, 9:45 news, 8:30 jobless claims, 9:45. What was it again? Chicago PMI. Now, we talked about this again this morning, but what is PMI? PMI, Purchasing Managers Index. What does that mean? The costs of goods and services, inflation, right? Inflation, dollar gold. Here we are. So at 9:45, we get very important inflationary type of news, which means on gold, I've got to be real careful. So as you can see here, I wanted to obviously sell these highs, right? 9:45, but as you can see though, at the news, I have to skip it. I have no choice, got to follow those rules and skip it. Now, once we get through the news, right, I'm going to come all the way down. And this is where I want you guys to remember what that morning prep said. And apparently, between 7:45 and 9:45, 2 hours went by. Apparently, I got a case of amnesia because price comes down to the lows of this wedge. And of course, what do I do here? I try to buy at these lows. Now, remember, under normal conditions, buying at the lows is the right trade. But we were very specific this morning. We knew this big 89, remember guys, this is not your average trend line. Okay, this is a trend line that is about 90 days old, and the past 4 days it's been chopping around that trend line here, up and down, up and down. This is exactly where I didn't want to be entering the trade, and of course you can see exactly what happened. I take a two-step pattern long here, I get long off these lows, and at 9:55 I quickly realize poor decision. Bad decision to make the trade here. I get out as early as I possibly can for a -5. I trade 4 contracts, -5s and -20. So a very poor decision. And again, I want to remind you guys, this was right there on that morning prep. I knew exactly where not to trade if I just simply would have opened these eyeballs and read that morning prep. So the morning prep this morning should have kept me out of this trade. And of course, my members this morning made me well aware of it. They were sitting on their hands this morning. So great job out there, guys. While I was getting my butt kicked, you guys were going, why is he trading right now? Didn't he tell us to stay away from this area? So I jumped into a trade. Poor decision, obviously. But we knew we wanted to be rising off these lows, just not trading right at that trend line, right? Remember, the trend line here is going to act like a magnet. It'll bring price up, bring price down. It'll be all choppy around that trend line here. So that's why we want to stay away from that trend line. So of course, I said, all right, so I'll lose some money here, give back some money from yesterday, basically, two-step pattern long, that fails. Okay, I get minus 20 ticks. Then it comes right back up. And when it came right back up, it looked like this is going to be a wave short, but the wave short fails. And we said, aha, see? Double top up top there, we're going to be buying right here. Remember, 1, 2, 3, this is a triple top.